A local family is making hard decisions in the face of some unimaginable circumstances.
That's really a really scary thing to go through.
This Kennedy Heights family is just hours away from learning whether or not they can stay in their home or be forced out onto the streets.
9 on your side, Scott Wegener looks at this growing problem and a family that is struggling to survive.
Even though they may not know the details of what's going on, they know when parents are worried.
Cristal Harris and her husband Jason have been trying to keep a secret from their 2 children, but they've fallen short.
It's tense in the household that something's going on.
Despite the fact that Jason is now working, the Harris family is on the verge of becoming homeless.
If you're working, you should be able to maintain, at least some stability.
Jason was laid off 2 years ago, Cristal 3 months later. The bills began to pile up with no way to pay them.
That's really a really scary thing to go through.
They moved into a cheaper apartment in a less desirable neighborhood. They downsized to a single car. Jason found another job making $8.50 an hour, not nearly enough to climb out of debt and pay rent. They're facing eviction with nowhere to go.
A lot of the shelters are full.
Thousands, in fact, are facing this very same problem.
Josh Spring with the Greater Cincinnati Coalition for the Homeless says in the last year and a half, families have been overwhelming programs designed to help.
The family shelters have only been able to provide shelter to less than 15% of the families that have called seeking shelter.
The problem? Housing is gobbling up more of shrinking paychecks. Spring sees no end in sight.
If we don't create opportunity for families and individuals to be sustainably housed, it's just going to get worse.
That's something the Harrises are trying not to think about.
We just try to move forward and try to stay positive.
Scott Wegener, 9 on your side, Kennedy Heights.